to Fun Deck. So we have reveals coming out. I believe this is coming as like a V jump. It's really weird, but it's Charmer, Black Rose slash armored support, and some Predaplant. So this is like very, very strange stuff. But also very interesting. Of course, this is coming out when I'm away. So sorry about the quality of video, but I will try my best to make it work. Starting off, we have. Um, Possessed Resonance Wind. So this was teased. We saw this was a fusion monster, which is interesting. It's a level 5 winged spellcaster fusion effect monster. Attack 1850, defense 1500. So this takes any spellcaster monster and one wind monster. So it technically could be used as like a super poly target. Um, this card is always treated as a familiar possessed card. You can only use one of the first and second effects of the name per turn and only once a turn. All right, so it's super hard once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can place one wind monster from your graveyard on the bottom of the deck, then target one monster your opponent controls, take control of it. Okay. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target two cards on the field, including a wind monster you control. Place them on the bottom of the deck in any order. Ooh, interesting. All right, so think about theoretically, I guess if you're saying it's a super poly target, the first effect is probably not happening. But the idea that you can take control of anything just by returning a wing to the deck is not actually bad. I'm trying to think what decks could make use of this. Technically, I mean, Draco Tail, the problem is they do have spellcasters, I think, and they do have wind. But the problem is they have all their fusion stuff makes Draco Tail fusions, right? I don't think they could go into this. Also, the second effect, while I think it's pretty cool, I think the problem I have with it is that, like, again, this is a win-based strategy. I'm just very confused about this Charmer stuff because it feels like they want it to be one cohesive strategy, but also supposed to be generic for the attribute. So, like, I think what you could say is that this is an eruption, right? Because you could just target itself, which is nice. And then basically a targeted like place on the bottom of the deck, which is pretty cool. I think that's nice that it works like that. And I think this is theoretically good at breaking boards for the fusion summon. Also, Charmers, they do have their spell book of the Grand Circle or whatever. It's their normal spell. It lets them add a bunch of Charmers and then they can banish the fusion summon. So this is cool that it's a target, and they would have a wind. But the problem is like that they already had a really good fusion monster to go into. So this is just odd. I think this is fine. I think this is it's a deck for a strategy. It doesn't exist. I can't think of any other, I guess, wind spellcaster deck that really needed this. Maybe you could say that this could do something in like Shadal's, because this is a viable target for that. But again, all their stuff locks into Shadal. So like generic fusion stuff that really was missing this, I don't know. So I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5. I think it's fine. I think it could see play in some deck. I think it's cool as an interruption piece, but I'm more curious to see moving forward what this means. Are we going to get the charge for the different attribute or attributes? I think it's also weird that we're still missing like a lot. Like we don't have, I think, a familiar the familiar possessed monster, the level 5 monsters. Um, like we don't have those for light and dark yet. So like there's several charmer attributes that just haven't been filled out. So I'm interested if they're going to like produce more support. But hey, let me know what you think about this. All right, let's move on to the next stuff. So we have some assault modes. This is Black Rose Dragon assault mode. Now this is kind of cool, just because Black Rose Dragon is like a very easy to make card. There's an entire deck about it. So hopefully this can kind of like help the assault mode stuff that they've been trying to, ship for the past few sets. So it's a level 9 fire dragon special summon effect monster. Oh, so yeah, they say that in the OCG. So it's attack 29, defense 23. Cannot be normal summon set. Must be special summon with assault mode activate. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, shuffle the deck, and if you do, change the attack of one face of monster in the field to 0. Oh, okay, so theoretically, that is a generic, not hand trap, but interesting, sure. And I mean, it's nice in this deck because Assault Mode Activate can only summon from deck. So if you have in hand, it's completely worthless. So fine. And two, if this card is special summoned or a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can destroy all cards on the field. Okay, and then if this card is destroyed, you can special summon black or destroy them from a graveyard. I mean, it's cool, but the problem I have is like, yeah, it's nice. And this is basically Black Rose Torrential, but why not just play like a Torrential? Like this is just weird. I was really hoping that it would have a unique effect that helped us on one activate. I think this is honestly pretty bad. I'm going to call this a flop. I'm going to give this a 1 out of 5. I just don't think this is enough to do anything different. Like Black Rose was already good at destroying the board, like and giving them, allowing them to respond to your opponent. Like that's not the big deal. Like they had um, the new Black Rose Synchro that can like tag into the OG Black Rose, and yeah, I can miss timing and all that, and this doesn't. But I just think it's not really that big of a like. Why would you go and play this Assault Mode Activate decks? Doesn't seem to be my favorite. All right, let's move into the last card. This is okay, Predaplant. Um, Daredevil, I guess. Daredevil. I don't know. It's a level 6 Dark Plant Fusion effect monster. Attack 22, defense 15, and materials take one Predaplant monster and one level 1 monster. Ooh, interesting. Must first be either fusion them or special them from your extra deck by tributing one monster on either field with a Predaplant character and one Predaplant monster. All right, cool. So it's not that generic. The Chiappa isn't bad either. Okay, so during the main phase, if this card was special summoned this turn, quick effect, you can target spell traps on the field up to the number of monsters with a predator can't destroy them. Interesting. So I mean, it pops spell traps. I don't honestly. I'm a little new to Predaplant, the deck or Predap because it's super weird the naming convention. But this just feels kind of lackluster. Like it feels more like a kaiju type thing using the Predator cannons to remove stuff. But I thought they already had plenty of main deck ways of doing this. Like I thought they already had a monster that like gave the counter to your opponent and then confusion with it. So I mean, I'm not sure if this really fills the hole. Maybe it does. Maybe there was a monster that was really good that could put Predator or these counters on your opponent's monsters, but couldn't do anything with them. So yeah, this is nice, but the actual effect itself is pretty weak and relies on your opponent having additional counters beyond the monster you just took from them. I think this is fine. I'm going to give it probably a let's say 2 out of 5. Putting in the fine category just because it is a kaiju. It is cute. That it can remove stuff. And I do think that you can still give counters to monsters that are unaffected. Like the Leo Dancer and all that, all towers monsters. I think they can still have counters. They just couldn't be affected by them. I'm not sure about the ruling, but regardless, it's like a nice method of outing something that maybe would be hard otherwise. But I think the effect itself is just okay. I mean, spell trap removal is meh in general. Like it can be good, but it's just weaker than generic card removal. And it's also situational on top of that. But hey, that's just my opinion on it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And before you click away, again, I've been trying to get to 100 subscribers before Valentine's Day, and we are so close. We are, I think, just over 90 at this point. So I'd really, really appreciate. We have a week to go, so please, if it's not that big of a deal to you, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate. Be sure to like this video too, if you liked it, and if you hate it, please leave me a comment down below. Just really chewing me out. I love it. I love it. I'm a masochist for that stuff. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. It's fun X. Signing out. Bye.